Morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hector Dominguez. I'm here on behalf of the Cook County Assessor's Office. We have a very afternoon. I want to start off by saying, give a really big shout out to my coworker, Jennifer. She's in the background. She's going to be handling the mechanics of everything today. Also, a gigantic shout out to the rest of our communications team that will be answering all of our questions. A couple things before we start introducing some of our guests. Some housekeeping rules. One, if you're like me and you have lots and lots of questions, but you don't always remember them, just go ahead and start writing your questions in or typing your questions in right now in the comments section. That way, when we get to the Q&A portion, you don't have to remember what is happening. And also, that will give us a way just to go on with the event. And then when we get to the Q&A, your questions are there. We're going to answer as many as we can, I promise. And even if we don't get to yours today, we will have people in the comment section going in and answering those. So housekeeping rules are in. Now let's introduce some of our guests. So today we want to give a very special greeting to Adam Ballard and the AARP for partnering with us today. Adam is in the event with us right now. So Adam, if you want to say a couple words.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hector.
No problem at all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam Ballard. I am an associate state director with AARP Illinois, and I'm based out of our Chicago office here in Cook County. AARP Illinois is proud to partner with the Cook County Assessor's Office to help educate our members and older adults all across Cook County about opportunities to lower their property tax bill through exemptions and other programs, and to advocate for more avenues for property tax relief in the future. We are pleased to help present today's webinar on existing exemption programs and how to apply for them. You're in good hands here with Hector, as he'll be able to walk you through these programs step by step and answer your questions. If you have further questions about AARP Illinois specifically, or our work expanding affordability for older adults, please visit aarp.org/il. That's aarp.org/il, or you can call our toll-free number for the state office, 1-888-687-2277. That's 1-888-687-2277. Without any further ado, I'm going to throw it back to Hector, and we'll get started with today's webinar.
Thank you so much, Adam, for everything you provide for the people of Illinois. Thank you so much. Again, guys, if you have any specific questions before we begin, go ahead and write those in the comment section. And I promise, that's literally my favorite part of the event, is we will be answering those questions. We are also going to have a special appearance today by the assessor, Fritz Kagi. So when he gets here, we're going to jump in with that as well. But let us begin, right? The reason why you guys are all here for this information, right? Knowledge is power. So let me share my screen. Give me a quick second, por favor. All right. So today's event is brought to you on behalf of the Assessor's Office and AARP of Illinois. Guys, we have a lot of different things we're going to be doing today, but I'm going to sum these up. I don't know if you'd like to read everything that's on the screen or not, but I'm going to summarize everything for us. So what we're going to do today is talk about the responsibilities of the Assessor's Office, property tax exemption overview, some of the things that we do, how to apply for exemptions, discounts, right? Everybody wants to know about that. What do you do when you receive mail from our office, or what the mail from our office does look like, some contacting information for us, and then my favorite part, the Q&A. So the responsibility of the Assessor's Office, there are many, but to sum it down, we are responsible for putting a value or assessing values of 1.9 million different properties in Cook County. That's almost 2 million different properties, guys. Now, here's what we don't do. We do not just walk around and look at a property and just give it a number based on how we're feeling that day, right? The way we value property.
Hector, sorry to interrupt you. We have a special guest.
Oh, let's see.
1 second.
Oh, let's go.
All right.
On, boss.
I didn't mean to interrupt the business end of this meeting here.
No.
Hey, everybody. I'm Fritz Kagi. I'm the Cook County Assessor. Hector is one of our superstars here
Thank
at the
you.
Assessor's office who's going to be able to give you important information about exemptions. He can answer literally any question you can think of, and it's kind of fun to test him a little bit. So
Yeah.
let's see what we've got here, everyone. But I wanted to welcome you. This is our first workshop following up from the big session that we had last week via phone. And so we have Hector here, one of our great specialists, to explain how all these things work. I got into this partly because my mom encouraged me to get into public service. And when she found out I was running for the assessor's office, one of the first things she said to me is, could we please have it so that I don't have to recertify every year that I'm still over 65? This is a well-known biological process. And we got our technology up to snuff at the office and got a bill passed in Springfield so that now the senior homeowners exemption automatically renews. And this really got the ball rolling because now the General Assembly realized that, hey, there are other things that we could work with the assessor's office to do to make exemptions easier for others, make these exemptions easier for people to get. So we just had, when COVID hit, we had several other exemptions automatically renewed, people with disabilities, veteran with disabilities, the senior freeze. And we just got a bill passed that's going to help seniors out there qualify for the senior freeze if there are other state programs where they've already demonstrated their income, and that'll reduce the amount of paperwork and barriers for you. The governor still needs to sign it, but it's coming. So I don't want to take any longer because Hector really is the business end of this conversation. I just wanted to welcome everyone here and express our appreciation to AARP and all of you for taking the time to be with us because we're here to serve you and make these exemptions work for you so that you're getting all the savings you deserve. With that, Hector, I would say take it away, but how about you resume your talk here?
Thank you so much, Assessor. Thank you. All right, let's share my screen. Una vez más, sorry, one more time, and let's get right back into it. So, basically, what our office does to keep things fair, to keep things ethical, to have transparency, right? We use what's called a mass appraisal system. That's how we come up with the values for almost 2 million different properties in Cook County. The assessor's office also has an exemption program, what you guys might know as a discount program or exemption, or different ways we can lower your tax bill at the very end. Some of the things we don't do, we don't mail tax bills, we don't calculate tax bills. We're not responsible for tax rates, for tax levies, township tax rates, anything like that. All of that's done by your specific township. So let's move forward. Here is a list of the different exemptions our office offers. So of these 8 exemptions, only 7 of them you really have to apply for. One of them, I'll explain in a second. I don't even want to get into that. So very quickly, the homeowner's exemption, this one is super straightforward, super easy. It is automatically renewed every single year. The requirements are as follows. You must own and occupy the property as of January 1 of the taxable year. So for what we're talking about today, in order for you to receive this exemption and all the exemptions I'm going to talk about going forward on your tax bill that's coming out, your second installment tax bill, you had to have been on the property, owned and occupied January 1 of 2021. Also, this exemption can be prorated if you have a newly constructed property as well. It's not your fault you didn't own and occupy January 1. It did not exist. Next, we have the senior citizen exemption. This is one of my favorite exemptions. This is also automatically renewed for you as well. To qualify for this exemption, you must have been born in 1956 or before. You must own and occupy the property in the taxable year. So for what we are talking about today, you must have owned and occupied it in at least 2021. Next, we have the senior freeze. This one's a little bit different. It is just like the senior citizen exemption, except there is an income cap for it. Reason being is the senior freeze offsets increases in assessed value, right? So the way this works is you must have been born in 1956 or before. You cannot make more than $65,000 as a total household income from 2020. right? You must have owned and occupied the property as of January 1, 2020 and January 1, 2021. It must be your primary residence as well. Fun fact, we get this question all the time. We're probably going to get it, but I'm just going to say it now because it popped in my head. Can you receive multiple exemptions on multiple properties? The answer is no. Each of these exemptions must be applied for in the property you own and occupy, right? So it must be, that doesn't mean you can't own more than one property. It just means you can only receive exemptions on one property. Now, let's get back. So persons with disability exemption, this exemption, because of COVID-19, is going to be auto-renewed this year. So if you received it last year, there's nothing for you to do. It will be automatically renewed for you again this year. But this is for anyone who became disabled or was disabled in 2021. You must have owned and occupied the property January 1, 2021, and be liable for the property taxes. This is my favorite exemption. Veterans with disability exemption. This is also, because of COVID, auto-renewed for everyone who received it last year, this year as well. Now, I'm going to take a little bit longer on this exemption because there are different tiers, right? So the veterans with disability exemption, you have to be a veteran with a service-connected disability, right? Now, there are different tiers. So if you are 30 to 49%, you get X removed off of your tax bill. If you are 50 to 69%, you get X removed off of your tax bill. If you are 70 to 100%, you don't pay property taxes at all. Now, if you look at the bottom left of my screen, you'll see a little breakdown. I know it says for 30 to 49%, $2,500. Now, please, that is not $2,500 off your tax bill. That's a reduction in equalized assessed value. I will show you what that means in a couple more slides, but we just want to make sure. So again, if you're 30 to 49%, you get X removed off of your tax bill. If you are 50 to 69%, you get X removed off of your tax bill. And if you're 70 to 100%, you don't pay property taxes at all, as long as your home is not greater than $800,000. Anything above that, you are responsible for. Returning veterans exemption. This must be applied for annually. This is for anyone who is returning from active duty, right? So you must be an Illinois resident as a member of the U.S. Forces, the Illinois National Guard, or the Reserves, returning from active duty in armed conflict involving armed forces of the United States. And you must have owned and occupied the property January 1 of the taxable year. So what we're talking about is 2021. A long time exemption. Okay, so this is the one we probably get the most questions about. I love calculating these in front of people so they can actually understand. We're not going to do that today, but they can understand where the math is actually coming from. But this, if you received it last year because of COVID-19, we are auto-renewing it this year as well. But you must have owned and occupied the property for 10 consecutive years. Let me say that again. You must have owned and occupied the property for 10 consecutive years. So that's January 1 of 2011 all the way through January 1, 2021. Your total household income cannot be greater than $100,000. And that's a total household income gross, right? For 2020. And this is the part that everyone struggles with a little bit. There's an actual equation that has to be done. Your EAV must have increased significantly in order to qualify over those 10 years. What does that even mean? That means the equalized assessed value of your property must have increased every single year, specifically depending on what township you live in. There is an actual value in order for you to qualify. Now, please keep in mind that only about 2% of properties in Cook County actually qualify for this. Our office finds those properties and then we send out the application to you. So if you qualified, you should have already received the application from our office. I would love to sit up here and say that we get this right 100%. That is not the case. So if in fact we are incorrect and you believe you do qualify, I will show you how to apply for that, or contact us and let us know as well. The home improvement exemption. This is the only exemption you don't have to apply for. So when you are making improvements to your property, you should be pulling permits. What happens then is once you pull those permits, that goes to your city or your township or your municipality, depending on where you live. That information is then sent to our office, and then our office will then see if improvements were indeed done, right? What this covers is up to $75,000 in improvements. So let's do some simple math. If your home is worth $100,000 and you do $75,000 worth of improvements, your home is now worth $175,000. But because of this exemption, you are not taxed on that $75,000 for 4 years. However, anything greater than that 75, so if it was $76,000, you are responsible for the difference. Properties that are eligible are class 2, so those are residential properties, and it must be your primary residence. Now, how do you as a taxpayer figure out what you are receiving, what you qualify for, all of these different questions, right? Very simple. I'm going to give you 2 websites. Here's the first one. This one is cookcountypropertyinfo.com. From here, you can go in and you can put in your address or your PIN number, and from there you can get all the characteristics of your property. You can get more than that, actually, but you can get your exemption history, your appeal history, any deed transactions, the characteristics of the property, what the make and model is. It's not a car, but the building type, the construction type, things like that. You can get all that information here. You could also go to our website, cookcountyassessor.com/exemptions. From here, it's literally a drop-down menu of all of our exemptions, and all you have to do is click it and apply online, and it will walk you through exactly what you have to do. The only thing you need to apply, first of all, this is free, by the way, right? Just throw that out there. We're not charging you for this. There's no fee for this, no hidden nonsense, no fine print, none of that. Now, what you do need is a valid email address. So if you're looking at my screen at the very bottom, this is what your signing in would look like, your information, and then your email. Once you click begin, you will receive an email with kind of like a code that you have to put in, so we make sure it really is you applying for these exemptions. And then your very next screen will look like what's on the right of our screen. This is one of the applications, and all you got to do is just go ahead and fill in what pertains to you. It's very simple, very easy. We actually just redid all of our applications, so we're trying to make this as user-friendly as possible, guys. We know that in the past, you had to do one application for this and another application for that, then another application for this. It's too much work. Nobody got time for that, right? So we just want to make this as easy as possible. Now, this is what your second installment tax bill looks like. Remember, our office does not mail these tax bills. That's the treasurer's office. And our office does not calculate these tax bills either. So you receive 2 tax bills a year. Your first installment tax bill is blue, comes out when it's cold outside. It does not have any exemptions on it. Those are typically mailed out around February, March-ish, right? Now, your yellow tax bill is your second installment tax bill, yellow for when it's warmer outside. This one does, in fact, have your exemptions on it. So if we're looking at the tax bill, bottom left-hand corner where it says tax calculator, this is the important, well, the whole thing is important, but this is the important information for you. So earlier we were talking about equalized assessed values and EAVs and increases and whatnot. That's all that information is right here. So for your equalized assessed value, it's literally labeled equalized assessed value. For those who are trying to see if they qualified for the long-time exemption, this number right here must have increased significantly, again, depending on what township you live in, every single year for 10 years. Now, the important part of this is your actual discounts, this red portion right here. If you are receiving the homeowner's exemption, you will see a homeowner exemption, X amount of dollars. Senior citizen exemption, X amount of dollars. Senior freeze, disabled person, disabled veteran, returning veteran, all of those will be listed right here. The only one that will not be listed here is the long-time exemption. For whatever reason, the treasurer's office typically writes it under where it says important messages. We do We are trying to step into the future. I know in the past we were kind of lacking in that area, but we have a lot of information for everyone, multiple different languages. Our office speaks, I think it's 75 plus different languages. So we want to make sure we have resources for every single person and no one feels left out. For some of you all, this on the left-hand side may look familiar. This is what actually, it's for seniors. This is what actually was mailed to you from our office. This is just letting you know, hey guys, you don't have to do anything. This is us just letting you know that we're going to be doing this for you. We're going to be renewing your homeowners. We're going to be renewing your senior exemption. So if you got one of these, you have nothing to do. If you want to connect with us, you can contact us at 312-443-7550. Guys, we are humans. We do have people actually answering the phone. However, when you call this number, you will speak to a robot in order for you to put in your PIN number. And then once you do that, you will be redirected to one of us. You can contact us on social media. That is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Yes, that's all of them. You can make appointments in person if you want at our downtown location, at our Markham location, and our Skokie location. You can also sign up to receive emails and updates from our office. But the cool part about everything on this screen is our QR code. If you have a cellular device, all you have to do is open up your camera app, hover over the QR code, and then a link will pop up. And this is probably going to look terrible on camera, but then you get access to all of our information. Literally at your fingertips, right? If you want to get connected with AARP Illinois, here is their information as well. You can contact or visit them on their website at www.aarp.org/IL. You can connect with them on social media as well. On Twitter, their handle is at AARP Illinois, and their Facebook is facebook.com/AARP Illinois. So now, my favorite part, the Q&A. I saw we had lots of different, what did I do? I see we have lots of different people in, so let's jump right in. And, oh, the assessor's still here with me. Sorry, I didn't see you because I had my PowerPoint up. But, okay, let's get to the questions. All right. Nancy G says, what is the difference between the senior exemption and the senior freeze? Oh, this is a YouTube question. This is worth 20 points just because it came from YouTube. But the difference is, can I take this one, boss? Okay. The difference is the senior, so both of them are based on age, right? So you must be 65 in the taxable year to qualify. But the difference is that the senior citizen exemption does not have an income cap and the senior freeze does. Very simple. The senior freeze, you cannot make more than $65,000 as a total household income gross. So that one is income based, but the senior citizen exemption is not.
And I think I'd add there that in ordinary times now, the senior homeowners exemption, the senior exemption, it renews every year automatically. This year, because we're in COVID conditions, the senior freeze will renew unless you're no longer qualifying based on income, and then you need
Correct.
to inform us. But normally, you do have to reapply every year for the senior freeze. Now, the good news is that because there are many different state programs where you have to demonstrate income, when you do demonstrate that through state programs, it makes it easier for you to qualify without having to turn in all that paperwork. So we are making this easier for you. But the senior freeze is especially valuable for our seniors, for our neighbors who live in communities where we have rising housing values and gentrification, and it's there so you don't have to be priced out of your neighborhood by rising housing prices. So it's really something that's terrific. We know how important seniors are as backbones of the community in so many different ways, and that's there for you. That's actually one of the main tools that we have to protect seniors on fixed incomes in incomes below $65,000 for their household on an adjusted basis from the effect of gentrification.
Thank you, boss. Nancy G, another YouTube question. This is another 20 points. Is it true that if you get a senior exemption or senior freeze, you cannot file an appeal? No, that is not true. But that is a layered question. So let's break it down. First of all, filing an appeal will have absolutely no effect on you receiving a senior citizen exemption. Okay, so let's get that out. However, your senior freeze offsets increases in equalized assessed value. So, to make this as simple as possible, the greater your property value is, the greater your senior freeze savings will become, the lower your tax bill will become over time. Okay? An appeal says, I want you to lower my value. Well, if we were to lower your value, that would reduce the amount of increase there was in your property value, which may reduce the amount of your discount, which may increase your property value. So this type of situation is up to your personal preference. Like, if you want to file an appeal, you absolutely can. There's nothing that says you cannot. However, you may want to sit down with someone from our office to see exactly how that would affect you, because there have been situations where someone's senior free savings reduced their tax bill by this amount, and then they appealed, which lowered everything in total, and then it increased their property. Oh my gosh, their property tax bill increased the very next time. So this is something you don't want to take lightly. You do want to ask some questions.
For most situations, it's a good idea to have your freeze and to appeal if your home is overassessed. The most important reason why is your assessed value affects the resale value of your house. Because anyone who buys your house who doesn't have the freeze, they will be paying a property tax bill that reflects the full assessed value. They won't get the benefit of that senior freeze. So you want to make sure that the assessment assessed value in place reflects the market value of your house, so that you get the maximum resale value on your house that you or your beneficiaries can get. So that's the most important reason why you might want to do that.
Constance says, how do you know if you received an exemption last year? Super. Oh, sorry, boss. You want to take this one? Oh, I think he froze.
Hector, I think you should take this one away because you're so good at navigating people through the bill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there are many different ways. I'm going to keep it super simple for you, right? So the first thing you can do is look at your last year's tax bill. Bottom left-hand corner, tax calculator. You will see any exemptions you may have received with the amount, right? Now, let's say you don't have access to that. That's fine. You can contact our office, cookcountyassessor.com. Put in your PIN number, and we can help you figure it out there. You can go to cookcountypropertyinfo.com, put in your PIN number there, and you can see a history there. You can contact us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube. You can, any way you want. We are here to help. That is what we do. We are public servants, and we can definitely make this happen for you. Peter Silvestri. Thank you for providing this seminar. Great presentation with great staff. No, thank you, sir.
And for those of you who don't know, Peter Silvestri is our Cook County Commissioner representing the community right next to where I am right now. I'm in Oak Park, and he represents Elmwood Park all the way north, a lot of the northwest suburbs, and I believe some of the northwest side of Chicago too. And he's provided long great service to our communities. So our hat tip to him. It's nice to get the praise from him.
And he's very kind. Every event, he's always with the people. Usually we are the ones who leave last. He always leaves after us. It's crazy. I see a comment from Teresa Chandler. Thank you, Teresa, for being here. She's also in the comment section answering questions also. I see a comment from Priscilla Cepeda. No, you're the best. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Stella Black, how you doing, Miss Stella?
Stella's one of our frequent flyers, and she lets us know when we can make improvements, so we really appreciate Stella.
Is there a limit of exemptions you may receive on a single primary residence? Absolutely. So you can receive up to 4 exemptions on your property tax bill. It all just depends on what you actually qualify for. Now, saying that, there are two sets of exemptions you cannot combine. So you cannot receive the disabled persons and the disabled veterans. It's one or the other. And you cannot receive the long time exemption and the senior freeze exemption. The reason being is they both do basically the same thing. So it's one or the other. The great thing about our office, specifically for the long time and the senior freezes, we will actually calculate both of those out and give you the one that best benefits you. Miss Constance says, how do I apply for property reductions for help fixing my home? So I'm assuming you're referring to the home improvement exemption. So for that, all you have to do is pull the correct permits. Once those permits are pulled, our office will then receive them and then process them if they qualify. We actually, I know Teresa might have access to it quicker than any of us. There's a link on our website that actually breaks down what actually qualifies for the home improvement exemption. So you don't even have to think about it. We actually have a list of things that qualify for it. Ms. Green says, how can you go about getting the exemption? Ms. Green, super simple. All you have to do is contact our office. We will help you. We will literally walk you through that. When we are not doing these type of events, we are literally answering hundreds of emails a day. The exact same question as yours. We are walking taxpayers through this. It is super simple. I know that sometimes things can appear to be very difficult or kind of scary if you don't know what's happening. I promise you, our office, we kind of strive to make things as simple as possible for everybody. So you can contact our office, cookcountyassessor.com. You can send us a DM on Instagram or on Twitter. You can write us on Facebook, however, whatever you prefer, and then we will be in contact with you like that. Ms. Jones says, this is the most county engaging office on social media. Come on, can we say that one more time? Right? This is the most county engaging office on social media. I'm grateful for this knowledge. I've learned so much in the past years. Well, thank you very much. This is not a one-man show, ladies and gentlemen. I do love the limelight, but it is not. So behind the scenes, we do have people who are on our team that are literally answering DMs every day, on Facebook every day, on Twitter every day, on Instagram every day. This is a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's how we get down in the assessor's office. So thank you so much for that affirmation.
And it's so nice of you to say that, Aphonia, because we've surveyed our staff here on what gives them the most joy in their work and what they enjoy about it. And the number one thing that comes up time after time after time is being able to help people, being able to serve the public in situations like this. So it really puts a lot of wind in their sails when you make comments like that, because sometimes we're in this office you get all sorts of questions, and it's things like that that keep people going. So just throwing a couple of compliments your way too, Miss Jones, Barksdale Jones. Thank you.
And to put it in context, the last 2 years have probably been the hardest 2 years of anybody's life, right?
Mm-hmm.
During COVID, when things were supposed to shut down and break down, our office literally jumped ahead and said, no, we're going to make everything digital. We're going to make everything available for everybody online. We have been doing these events. Literally, the county shut down, I think, March 16th of 2020, and March 20-something, I think 25th or 24th was our first online Facebook event, and we've been doing them consistently since then. So thank you so much for this. This definitely speaks
and
volumes.
Hector, you could share how much you put on the line in doing this outreach, but we're all very grateful for you too. You put your heart out there during these tough times during COVID. So
thank you so much. Yeah, man, don't make me cry. Come on. Ms. Green says we are hearing when are hearings being held for appeals. I'm so sorry. I had I got teary-eyed a little bit. I couldn't read. So as of right now, as of this moment, our appeals are not open, but if someone from the team can throw the link in the comment section, we do have an actual calendar that you can follow. Find your specific township, and it will tell you when your township is expected. It's a guesstimate. It's an estimate of when your township is expected to be open. That is when you will be able to file an appeal. Miss Pepper says, my husband died. I am so sorry. Condolences. In 2020. My tax returns for 2020 reflect income for his income, I'm assuming, through June along with mine. From July 2020, there's only one income that is mine. So what does the assessor do to reflect only my income? So for this information, first, again, just condolences. My father-in-law passed away, and my wife's grandfather passed away, literally 6 months away from each other last year. I'm sorry, in 2020. So my heart's with you. Um, what you can do is, when you are filing this application, you may want to contact us directly. I don't know how personal you want me to get, but what you want to do is you want to file the application. On it, you want to write spouse refile, and what we are going to need is death certificate, identification for you and them as well. And then what will happen is when it comes to the income verification, it's literally just copy what you did for your taxes, your W-2s, and then that information will be what we will be considering. But if you can, Ms. Pepper, please just inbox one of us, contact either on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or cookcountyassessor.com, and somebody will definitely be able to help you with that, walk you through it. I know this is probably super difficult for you, and we don't want you to walk through this alone. Ms. Jones, thank you, Hector and Teresa. No, thank you. Do we have any other questions? Let's see. Thank you, Teresa. I see you're dropping the links in the comment section. Thank you so much. And you're answering these questions, okay? Miss Stella, thank you, Miss Stella. I appreciate you so much. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Michelle's also throwing the appeal calendar. Ms. Jones, I think that was you, or Ms. Green. I forgot who asked the question, but for your appeal information, literally the last link that was thrown in the comment section right now, that is where you want to go. All right, let's see if we have any other questions. I'm scrolling. Okay, Ms. Jones says, thank you for helping me understand the homeowners, helping fixing the home improvement exemption. What if you didn't know you had to pull permits, but everyone was licensed? Listen, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. Just, just good job. I don't want nobody to get in trouble, man. Just next time, you know. Anything for multifamily properties, mathematically impossible. A YouTube question. So this can go many different ways. It all depends on what you're asking. So can you receive an exemption on a multifamily home? Absolutely. Can you file an appeal? Absolutely. It all depends on what you're asking. Can you be a little bit more specific? Boss, it looks like you have a lot of books behind you, and you probably read every single one of those.
No, I've probably read maybe half of them. But so you want me to add to the number of multifamily anything on multifamily properties?
Absolutely.
So, exemptions are about your primary residence. So exemption is applied to your primary residence. You can only have one primary residence. A lot of people own multiple homes, and that is so you can only have one exemption, even if you have properties in other states. In this era of big data, we will know if you're claiming exemptions in other states. So please, please, please do not erroneously claim another exemption here.
Correct.
So if you have a multifamily property, say you own a 3-flat and you're living in one of them, you can claim an exemption for your residence there, and then that becomes part of that becomes a reduction from the whole value of the property. So that's what I'd say there. And we know that the 2 to 6 flats are very important in Chicago. So if you do have your primary residence there, and you're the owner of the property, or you're responsible for the property taxes, you should be claiming that.
Also, I do want to say before we close out, please keep in mind, I said this at the beginning of the of the webinar. Exemptions can only be applied for, and you just said it too, boss. Exemptions can only be applied for properties that are owner occupied. So if this is like a rental property or some type of income property, unfortunately, unless you're living there, this doesn't really work for you. So we just want to make sure that that's clear. Boss, we have answered all of the questions that are in all of our platforms that we were on. So if you want to close us out, that would be awesome.
Well, hey, I just wanted to thank AARP for making this possible, for bringing us all together. We're really glad that you could overcome the challenges of technology and the challenges of everything else out there to be with us. We hope it was helpful. We will be having another webinar coming up. Hector, do you know when that is? I believe it may be a Spanish language webinar, but it can be helpful. I know we'll be archiving this for everyone to see and reference, and we'll have other opportunities in the future. You can always go to our website, cookcountyassessor.com. If you have more questions, we're really trying hard to be available for you. Remember, you can book an online appointment or call us to make an appointment to save time in line. We're here to help you in every way, wherever you are. We just appreciate everyone for being out there, and we're always here to help you, and it's our pleasure to do so.
Absolutely. Our next webinar is going to be in Spanish on the 24th. I believe it's at 6 p.m., but we can double check. And yeah, guys, whenever you see these events, even if this isn't for you, you know a neighbor, you have relatives, you have family, somebody needs to know this information. One of my favorite TV show characters, I mean, he's a human being, but was Mr. Rogers, because he was like, you got to be a good neighbor. You have to be a good neighbor. And this is our responsibility as human beings. We have to look out for each other. So if you gained any value from this, thank you. Tag somebody that you believe would gain information from this. Share this with somebody. Text it to somebody. Do whatever you can to get this information out, because we want to make sure that people are as knowledgeable as humanly possible for their property. I want to thank you guys for allowing me to be with you all today. You literally could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us. So thank you so much. You guys have a great day. On behalf of AARP and the Assessor's Office, we want to thank you guys. You guys have a great day, and see you next time.
Bye-bye, everybody.